We look great.
What's up, everybody? I'm heading to the airport right now. I'm driving myself, and then Dante's driving my 4Runner back.
I don't know how to drive.
Which used to be Corey's 4Runner, but it's my 4Runner now. So, quick update there.
Quick maths.
In honor of the Dream Car Build giveaway, and completely irrelevant to that, I'm heading to Florida to buy my dream car. It's gonna be sick. I found a good deal on my favorite car in the world, and it doesn't have an engine. So I'm heading there, picking up a Penske truck, and then driving back around 4 or 5 of me driving in a Penske truck from Florida to Colorado.
And Corey and I are gonna party while he's gone.
And Dante and Corey are gonna be partying and not getting anything done, so.
That's false. We'll keep you updated.
And that's all for now.
Bye.
We here. Got my skateboard to try out the new West Melbourne skate park the Team Paint built. Got my Skid Hunter shirt. I have 4 ratchet straps in my backpack, and that somehow didn't get searched, which is weird. And we out here. So I lurked at Dunkin' Donuts for about an hour or 2. And then I got to the Penske place, and they suck. And they took a long time, but now I'm in the Penske. And it's this again. We got some aux. We got a USB. So we're doing all right. I'm freaking tired, man. Now I'm heading over to Spring Hill, Florida. The West Coast. And then the East Coast. And then Colorado. Slight change of plans. The guy I bought the car from said he had a transmission line blow out on his truck, and he was in North Carolina, and he's still not back. So I'm heading over to Melbourne first, and then heading over to Tampa, and then maybe heading back to Melbourne. We'll see what happens. Well then. So I chilled in Melbourne for yesterday, all of yesterday and half of today. Shouts out to everybody. Got some Tijuana flats, so I'm good for another year or so, I guess. Unless somebody wants to deliver me Tijuana flats personally, then I'd love you. Anytime, I'll take it. It comes with a free tour of the shop, and I'll let you sleep in my hammock. But right now, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Driving through Central Florida, south of Orlando, heading over to Bradenton to pick up the car. So you're gonna get to see the car soon, see what I'm talking about. And I told Corey to look for / find me a stand-up jet ski along the route, and I'll buy it. So we're gonna see if I can find one of those, because I really want a stand-up jet ski. I definitely just hydroplaned, and the cruise control tripped balls and floored it for me. It was almost really bad. But I'm alive, and it's raining pretty bad out here in the middle of nowhere. So, I'll give you an update if I don't die. If I die, it was nice knowing you all. You all. Yep, English. Ooh, there she is. Look at that ass, boy. Car's a little rough, but it's alright. Yeet. That right there is how you strap in a car into a Penske trailer. Some of those, boom, boom. Then these just kind of flex downward when you shut the door on them. It works. It works. Just trust me. I'm a professional here. I know what I'm doing. Look at it. It's so pretty. Except it's yellow. But it's so pretty. So the vent tube is clogged. So that's fun. Gotta fill up gas nice and slowly, otherwise it triggers that. out. I just crossed into Georgia, so, well, I guess, oh, look, there's Georgia right there. And now I just crossed into Georgia. I'm gonna see how far I can make it tonight. And then I'm gonna sleep in this uncomfortable truck without a bench seat. And then round 2 tomorrow. And then round 3 the next day, probably. Alright, Tennessee drivers are the worst I've ever seen. I almost just got sideswiped because I got merged, like, basically right there. And then I got caught in between 2 cars. And then that blue car that's up there was just, like, on my ass to where I couldn't even see him. And then on that semi-truck's ass. It's sketchy. It's hectic over here in Tennessee. So last night I got a whopping 3 hours of sleep from 3 a.m. until 6 a.m. And then I went through a time zone. And now it is 7:51 p.m. So it's basically almost 9 o'clock in that time zone that I slept. So I've been driving nearly straight for 15 hours, combined with last night's driving from 8 p.m. until 3 a.m. And that's way too much math. But I'm almost to Kansas. And I'm gonna die. Stopped and got gas somewhere in Missouri. But while I'm waiting for that, I'll tell you what I'm doing with the Porsche, what the plans are. I'm looking for a Subaru SVX, which is like the really ugly car from the 90s. Came with a 3.3 liter 6-cylinder. So I'm going to part that car out, and that's going to be the engine, and then sell everything else, basically make my money back and profit a little bit there. I do a lot of WRX part outs, so I have a transmission sitting around. The engine and trans bolts right up to each other, so that's good. Mega Square MS3 that I pulled out of my E46. The Volkswagen GTI radiator that I pulled out of my E46 is going up front. Some BC coils, probably some like Cosmos wheels or something like that. I'm going to run adapters to 5x114, so if I need spares, they'll be readily available rather than trying to find 5x130 spares. And then, did I say BC coilovers? Some custom BC coilovers. I was talking to one of the guys over there at BC, and we're going to, like, finesse a set together using some E30 parts and other random junk to make a good set of coilovers. And I already have the wide body flares. I got a whale tail, front and rear bumpers that are fiberglass. So I got a lot of stuff to do already. Soon. Not this video, but soon. Also, a pro tip, if you're moving across the country or doing this or whatever, there's an app called Gas Buddy, and you can find the cheapest gas stations. So I just saved between this fill up and the one before. The one before cost me $90. This one cost me $75. I was kind of stuck going to the last station because there wasn't any other cheaper ones around. But I could have, there was even more expensive ones than that, so I could have spent like $100. And this one was $75, and you just got to find the cheapest ones and plan your trip accordingly to land at the gas stations that are cheap when you need gas. Saves a lot of money. Fucking Taurus. So I got like 3 hours of sleep again last night. 7:45 a.m. and just made it to Colorado, as you can see. And I'm on my way to Dunkin' Donuts. So here it is at the shop. I started pressure washing. That's how I got all that off, all that, and a bunch off the roof. So I'm gonna pressure wash all of it off that I can, just to see what kind of rust we're working with. pretty bad in some spots, but definitely savable. I probably won't show you guys too much of the teardown because that's kind of boring, but then once I start getting into some cool stuff, then you'll get a lot of updates. So I've been stockpiling parts for this car for quite a while now. This is a later Carrera tail with this little duckbill gurney flap that I added. So I like that a little bit more than the Beat old fucking T-tray. And then it's a bit dark. Yeah, you cannot see anything. 1 second. We got this front bumper, which is wide body to go with the flares that I got. And then I'm gonna add a big front air dam to feed the front radiator, which is not there. Then under the hood, under the frunk, we got the stock giant gas tank, which is going to go bye-bye. We'll be having a radiator there, and then a fuel cell somewhere else. And then the fuel system from the BMW, which is the Deechworks surge tank, pumps, filters, all that good stuff is going to go somewhere. All the wiring is going to go, and I'm going to make a custom chassis harness. That'll get cleaned up. The booster, the AC evaporator, I think is what that is, will be sold. Lots of parts are going to get sold to pay for the more important parts. I'm going to sell the stock brakes and build some adapter brackets for some Wilwood brackets, or some Wilwood calipers. Probably the same thing in the rear. I got a really cool front bumper. Or back bumper. Sorry, I'm retarded. Right there. And then that'll go on instead of that ugly thing with these stupid rubber pads. And all red interior. That's the most important part. Red interior. Got all this pile of junk pulled. Stupid shift knob, old radio, very old little tree. I'm kind of disappointed. There's like a push to start, that switch, there's a switch there, that thing, there's a switch there, there's Sunpro gauges, which I don't like because they're the mechanical kind of gauges, so like this oil pressure has an oil line going to the back of it, and I don't like that. So those gotta go. The shifter I'm gonna modify to make work with the Subaru transmission, so that's kind of cool. Ugly steering wheel's gotta go. Probably just gonna put some NRG or Grip Royal or some shit, unless one of you guys wants to hook it up with a sweet wheel, a Nardi or a Momo. Holla at me. Yo, I just got this in the mail right when I got back. My brother whipped me up this shift knob. It's made of recycled skateboard decks, all stacked together. He shaped this by hand. Number 6 on the top for 6 berries. You know. He also makes a bunch of keychains, jewelry, makes some rings, which I don't have any right now. But there's his card right there. I'll put some info, his Facebook and whatnot in the bio or in the description of this video. Go check him out. This thing's gonna look sick in the Porsche. Super hyped. So be sure to hit subscribe so you can check out me building my Porsche, which is awesome. Unfortunately, the E46 is probably getting sold, I think, tonight, hopefully. But for now, I'm gonna get back to work on this thing. Finally got tires for it. So I just need to finish welding up the cage, paint it, put some stuff back together, and it is good to go. That one, and then that one, and then a lot of stuff on the Porsche. A lot of stuff.